This is not just another building set. This is a 3,600 one-piece modern missile destroyer in 1 to 200 scale. And it took me around 20 hours to build. Welcome. Today I am reviewing the Misini M7021 Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, a military-themed model compatible with Lego bricks. After building the Yamato ship, the Black Hawk, and the F14 Tomcat, this is the next big war machine joining the fleet. And trust me, this one is massive. Let's start with the box. It is large, well-presented, with a beautiful image of the finished ship on the front and detailed specifications on the back. But the real surprise is how it opens. Instead of a regular lid, the box opens like a landing hatch, which already makes the unboxing feel special. Inside, the contents are divided into two smaller boxes labeled A and B, both printed with the destroyer. Right in the middle, we find a very large instruction manual. When opening the manual, there's a short introduction about the real ship, the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, one of the most representative multi-purpose missile destroyers in the U.S. Navy since the late Cold War. It is equipped with the Aegis combat system and is designed for air defense, anti-missile operations, anti-submarine warfare, and anti-surface combat. In real life, these ships are essentially floating fortresses, capable of tracking and engaging multiple threats at long range. The next page shows the designer statement. They explain that the biggest challenge was capturing the scale, power, and technical density of a modern Aegis destroyer within the constraints of a 1 to 200 model. They reworked the internal structure again and again until they achieved the right balance between stability and visual accuracy. And honestly, that effort really shows in the final build. Like other Misini sets, this one includes decal-style stickers. They look great once applied, but you only get one chance to place them correctly, so patience is very important here. For reference, the final model measures 77.5 centimeters long, 11.5 centimeters wide, and 30 centimeters tall. The box itself is also quite large, which gives you an idea of the scale even before opening it. Now, about the build itself. The build is huge and it sits on a brick-built display base, which adds stability and gives it a proper museum-style presentation. There are also some printed pieces, which is always a nice bonus. Inside the ship, there are several detailed sections, including a generator set, a gas turbine set, a coupled drive system, and a shipborne hangar. These interior details are not always visible, but they had a lot of authenticity to the model. One particularly interesting part is the central structure of the ship. To recreate the complex X-type rigging system, the designers used chain elements to represent tension cables and Technic parts to model the main structural rods. It looks fantastic, but building those chains was definitely the hardest and most repetitive part of the entire experience. Yes, the chains are a real test of patience. They require careful placement, and there are quite a few of them. Easily the most tedious part of the build, in my opinion. Aside from that, the construction flows surprisingly well for such a large model. Because of its size, you really need a good amount of space to build comfortably, which is why my speed build section is a bit limited. There is simply too much ship for a small building area. The model also includes two small brick-built Seahawk helicopters that can be placed on the deck. They are tiny but very detailed and help bring the whole naval scene to life. Inside, there is even a small control room with computer consoles, along with multiple antennas, weapon systems, and radar structures spread across the deck. There is also a display plaque that can be placed next to the model, giving it a true exhibition-style look. The build is not easy, and Misini does warn about that on their website. This is a time-consuming project. For me, it took around 20 hours to complete, from start to finish. In terms of stability, most of the structure feels solid once assembled, with only a few delicate sections that need a careful touch. So overall, it is sturdy, but definitely not a toy. This is a display model first and foremost. To give you a better sense of scale, I placed a mini figure next to the ship. The set does not include one, but this comparison really shows how large the destroyer is in 1 to 200 scale. It instantly turns the model into something that feels like a museum piece rather than just a construction set. So is it worth it? If you enjoy military models, large-scale builds, and detailed technical designs, this set is absolutely impressive. The size, the internal details, and the overall presence make it a standout display piece. However, if you prefer quick and simple builds, the long construction time and the repetitive chain assembly might not be for you. Personally, I think the final result looks fantastic and really captures the spirit of a modern naval destroyer in brick form. So if you want to check out the set, the link is in the description. Buying through that link helps support the channel. And with that, we've reached the end. I truly appreciate the time you spent watching this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a small kind of speed build at the end, and I'll see you in the next review. Happy building!